Welcome to another episode of QORcast, your favorite online podcast with your favorite guys. And today we are going to be breaking down, first story of the day, obviously, the MrBeast DogPack third video that just dropped.
Mr. President, the third video dropped.
And it's actually I would say this. So it had a different formula compared to the first two. You know what I mean?
They all had a different formula. The first one was a documentary. The second one was an interview, and the third one was had everything in like a flow chart, and he was kind of just going around it.
He was just, there was no punchline or anything. He was just like, yeah, here's just straight facts about everything instead of just building up to everything.
I think there was a reason for that, though. I think it's because I think this one was a little more disorganized, but it's only because he has to be more careful about what he's saying. I think he dealt with more his lawyer was like, yo, we got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because I do think it's starting to wind down to MrBeast is probably going to make, he's finally going to say something, and he is probably going to take DogPack to court, depending on everything that he says.
Well, he already sent a cease and desist, so he is already in the process. I mean, because he hired the lawyer who helped Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, which is weird. I don't think that's a good move. I'm like, yo, that's a little sussy.
Yeah, it is a little sussy, but I think it's more just the other side of it is people are saying, like, he's just hiring a good lawyer because he did help Harvey Weinstein. I don't even know, is Harvey Weinstein in jail? I don't even know what the whole thing about that is. But it was more just like this. But this was bad, straight up. Because this is the heads of MrBeast's company.
Yeah. I was going to say the first one, James Warren. His story was a little, it wasn't as...
It was uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. It was uncomfortable to hear.
I will say his wasn't as bad as the second guy, which we'll get into.
Yeah. Oh my God.
James Warren, his main thing was he was a part of a Ponzi scheme. Yeah. And stuff like that. He's apparently MrBeast's cousin.
He is MrBeast's cousin.
He is MrBeast's cousin.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he looks like him. He looks like him, just with a beard, low key.
And
he looks very cool. Huh?
It's funny because his mom is the HR.
Yeah.
His own mother is HR. Are you fucking kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
So he's basically untouchable because he has his cousin as the COO, and then his mother is the HR. So he's basically I know it's his company, but he's actually untouchable. Nothing can happen to him.
It's a very weird situation, but yeah, it's people are questioning why would you hire this dude who had baggage from his past job and you hired him here? And again, he was a part of a Ponzi scheme. So it's you're hiring people with not so good of past who don't seem to have good morals. You know what I mean? But it was there was people they were kind of iffy about that one. They're that one's he's a bad guy, but it's not the worst. But I know the worst part of the third video, because again, for me, I thought this was probably if I had to tier the videos, it'd go probably the first one, second one, third one, on the craziness of them. Even though this third one was crazy, again, it just didn't have the DogPack formula. But again, I think it's because he's being sued. He has to be more careful. That's why he was hardcore about allegedly a lot more than the first two videos.
I also think part of it is after all this other stuff came out, a lot of the stuff in the third video is just not as surprising. You know, it's well, of course there's this involved with it too. It's
if we're going by information and just how awful it is, I think the third one kind of hits hard because it's just this is not even just editors or the workers who used to work. This is the head of the company.
Head of people, yeah.
So
well, I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, we could go straight to the second one, LaCoya Hill. That's the worst one. That was the biggest part of the video.
Bro, my thing was it was the fact that they kicked him out. I think they said 2017 or 2018. They brought him back in 2021 or 2022, and they gave him a bonus. I was why are you giving him a bonus and bringing him back to such a high position? It's just, my thing is, you can't say you're not this kind of a bad person, but you surround yourself with these kind of bad people.
Yep.
You are who you surround yourself with, correct? We can all agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
For the most part, you are who you surround yourself with, and you are surrounding yourself with just awful human beings.
I think it's just weird because I'm like, yo, the content you make is for children, and one thing about LaCoya, he worked in an adult entertainment business.
Yeah. Not someone you would want your kids around.
It's also the fact that he has multiple cases of him essaying a lot of
Yep.
employees in the
Mhm.
business, and it's also that so he is gay, but he also goes for straight men. And the people who has essayed were all straight, so
Yep.
it's just more just like at that point it's just like what we going back from video number 2, where the guy who was a registered sex offender. Why is he working in the company? Why is he hiring people who are just like this work culture of just demoralizing women? And then when he was going over the video, the other big thing was when he was going over the employees and they were all saying the work culture over there and how he was like every woman he would say they all would go as soon as she would leave the room, they would all say, "Oh, how would they fuck her?" It's like, what kind of culture are you building? It's just disgusting. Because again, you can't say you're a good person and surround yourself with these kind of people. It doesn't work out. You can't, like, no matter how many good deeds you do, you can't say you're a good person with surrounding yourself with these people.
And it's like a complete other thing too, that like he gives them money. Like these people are paid to be there and act like this. Like,
Yeah.
that's the craziest part. I can't imagine that like walking into work and this is what happens. Like, especially like as a woman too. Like,
and then one of them was saying is like, don't be in a room alone with some of these people. It's like, hold up, why are you warning us? Like, why am I being hired and then I'm being warned immediately not to be in this, like, alone in a room with these people? Like, is that not a red flag? Is that not like a big, oh fuck, I should not be working here?
Again, I think it's just weird that's like, because like if watching the DogPack video, there were multiple people talking about this guy. They all knew he was a problem. So obviously, MrBeast knows this guy's a problem, just doesn't care. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Because we don't suit either.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, this doesn't make sense. Your channel primarily targeted towards children. You already hired someone who was on like being a PDF. You hired him. You hired your cousin who does Ponzi schemes. You hired this guy who, again, worked in adult entertainment industry, even though predominantly your fans are kids, and he's also allegedly sexually harassing a lot of your employees. You fired him, and then you brought him back, and then you didn't even just bring him back. You gave him a very powerful role, which is dangerous because what do people do with very powerful roles? They abuse their power. They take advantage of it. Because there was one of the stories where they said one of the people that he allegedly sexually harassed, that he forced them to lay in bed with him and then would dangle his job in front of him, saying like, hey, you got to do this or you're going to lose your job, which is terrible. It's just a terrible thing to do. And again, people are reporting this to MrBeast and his mom and allegedly, and nothing is being done about it.
This whole situation is like the Nickelodeon situation with Dan Schneider, except if they hired him after they figured out that he did all this stuff. That's what it is. It's literally like if they knew Dan Schneider did all this stuff, and then they're like, you know what, we should just bring him back anyways. That's like what the situation is. Like,
So it makes me think: does he know something? Like, or is he that close? Like, is he just that friends of like with MrBeast and all of them, or does he know something that he's like, hey, you better give me a job, or I'm gonna spill the beans on some real bad stuff that I know you don't want coming out.
Do you think he's like MrBeast is being blackmailed? You're saying basically?
I'm not sure. Like,
my thing is,
I wouldn't put it behind people because people do use that situations like when two crummy people work together. One crummy person, whenever they get caught up, they're like, hey, bro, you better not let me go down or we're both going down.
Yeah.
Like, I'll
My
give him the
thing-
benefit of the doubt. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
My thing is, if he comes out with an apology or not even an apology, like a video, and and if he utters anything about I didn't know, I'm disagreeing. Like that whole video is being thrown out the window. You cannot come in and say, "Oh, I didn't know about this." Yes, you did. He has literally showed you multiple text messages of multiple employees saying that MrBeast definitely knows about this. Your mother works at HR. Your cousin is a COO. You know about this. Come on now. My thing is, I think this is what DogPack said. He's like, I'm going to wait for a video now. This is like his third video. So he's like, I'm going to wait for a response. And if he lies about anything in the response, I have backup proof about anything that he lies about.
I mean, if we're going to even go further along, when it comes to if he tries to deny it, there's later on in the third video, he talked about how people would try and report things. Because the one thing that he brought up that apparently MrBeast is a very big misogynist.
Yeah,
He just
he
does
even
not
has
care
the
for women.
clips in there.
Yep, saying I don't get along with women. I don't get along with women. Which is like a big problem because again, you have a lot of women in your company. You work with a lot of women in your videos,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes to show that he just doesn't care about them being harassed because there's been multiple reports towards employees and people competing in videos talking about people in the crew harassing them, not leaving them alone, making them feel uncomfortable, and MrBeast not caring and just letting it go on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And he always talks about he likes a traditional woman, which is just
what are we on about?
Yeah.
What is a traditional woman? What are we on about? Like, what do you mean by what does he mean by that? Like,
He's a
it's
sexist. That's
it's
what
really
he
what it
means.
is. Again, I don't know if he's not gonna be officially canceled. I don't think he is, but I definitely hope that more creators or big creators just stop working with him. Period. Just don't work with him at all. Don't accept any invites. Don't accept any of those stuff. Just stay away, because if his apology is really bad and it goes to be really, really bad and he still continues to sue him, I don't think people should be working with him.
again, I think it's going to come down, if he was to be canceled, it's going to come down to the parents, not the kids, because kids
don't care.
Kids either don't care or they don't fully grasp the problems that are going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And someone didn't explain it to them. So it's going to come down to parents like, hey, sit down with your kids and explain MrBeast just isn't a good person. We shouldn't give him time, and we shouldn't allow him to keep making millions and millions of dollars while he is being corrupt and just being an overall bad human being.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I realize, sadly, too many people have parasocial relationships when it comes to creators. People will not care that these people are doing horrible things, but because they make you give me a little bit of dopamine in my day.
Yeah, then it's enough.
Yeah, you might have caused animals to go extinct and cause more global warming problems. You might be raping people, but you know what? That one clip of you making me laugh, I gotta be a fan of you till the day I die.
Yeah.
That's how it'd be sometimes. Like, people need to just, separate the creator and the humor that they bring you with, hey, maybe I shouldn't be a fan of this person because they're just not that good of a human being.
It's like when people separate the music. People are like, "Oh, separate the music from the artist." It's like, no. Like, if an artist does something really, really bad, like, no one out here listening to R. Kelly, and if you listen to R. Kelly, people are gonna look at you differently. It's like the same thing, or like same celebrities or basketball or sports athletes. Also, it's like, never look up to them. Yeah, I'd say, hey, they're really good. Look at them from a basketball standpoint, but don't look at them as like an idol. Never look at anybody famous as an idol. Like, this goes to everybody, especially creators, because let's be real, a lot of these creators are very degenerate.
Yeah, they
Especially
truly are.
gaming creators, they're very degenerate and they don't know how to talk to people. They have other people do that for them because they don't know how. Like, I'm not gonna I'm not throwing XQC, but like, don't look up to XQC. That's him as a person on stream. Imagine him and he might be like a nice guy, and I get it, but like, don't look up to people like that. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, they're funny, okay, cool, that's all that, but like, don't look up to them. That's my thing about it.
Yeah, so we're patiently waiting to see what happens with this whole situation. Will MrBeast finally respond since the third video? DogPack did talk about there is like information that he just could not talk about videos not monetized. Like, again, there's just probably legal issues. That's why he can't talk about everything that he wants to talk about, and he probably needs more people to come out just to validate what he wants to say about the situation. But I'm curious. I wonder if MrBeast is going to respond anytime soon. Like, is it a time? Like, when was the last MrBeast video?
I think it actually came out recently with like 2, but they were all like months in advance planned out.
Yeah, the last one it looks like was 13 days ago, and then one 3 weeks ago. So he is still just dropping like stuff here periodically
because they're weeks and they're months in advance. These videos are recorded months in advance, so they have to release it.
You know the crappy thing too. I'm also realizing too, where we might know about this, and people in America are talking about this, and people who speak English. What about all his foreign fans?
Yep.
Are they getting this information of like, dude, this dude sucks?
I think that unless there's like some big content creator in like that like speaks other languages and stuff, unless they're covering it, this probably like flies under the radar, low key. And then also, I really don't think MrBeast is gonna make an apology video or a video addressing it. But even if he did, I don't think it would go on the main channel. There's no way it would go on the main channel because
no way.
Why would he do that and then put that in front of his children audience? You know?
Yep.
Like,
millions of people.
So like, even if he does say something, I feel like he's gonna tweet about it or write some sort of document.
Or a video on his Twitter page.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be like properly addressed in the normal YouTube apology video format.
Yeah. We'll wait on it. So we'll talk about more positive news now.
Yeah.
The new Valve's Deadlock. New game is called Deadlock. It's a 6v6 MOBA. So think of Smite and Overwatch if they had a baby.
Think of Smite, but better in every possible way.
But Smite in Overwatch was had a baby, and it's actually really fun. The game has been actually really fun to enjoy. They just came out with a recent patch about it.
Ennis keeps talking about it.
Bro, it is such a good fucking game. Like, unironically, it is a good game. I was very shocked with that because I was like, oh, okay, you know what? It's alpha. It's gonna be like some buggy. I've yet to run into any bugs. I've yet to run into any technical issues. The only issue I have with it is it's only like our Eastern Standard Time. It only opens from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. The only thing is I can't play it earlier, and it's only invite only so far. The thing is, it's invite only, but you can send invites
whoever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like there's like a limit through days, but like you get it throughout, and it peaked at 100,000, but that's only through invite only. Imagine if it was open to everybody, it'd be insane. I think this is actually going to be a really good game because the only reason I know this is going to be a good game is Gabe Newell, Mr. Valve himself, has responded to an email about someone asking for a code, and he gave it to him.
Wow.
This man has never said a single word about CS in the past 10 years. His biggest money grab in CS, you know how much money CS has made in the first half of 2024? They have made over $600 million in the first half of 20. That is their biggest money maker, and he has not made a single tweet, an email, or nothing about CS in the past 10 years. Let that sink in real quick.
So do you think this is, so you said it's going to be, you had brought up it's probably going to be the death of Overwatch, but will it be bigger than Marvel Rivals, which is coming out in December, which is had a lot of big fan, like had a big fan.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see Marvel as anything more than just a casual game.
What publisher is doing Marvel?
Let me see.
I'm not really sure who the publisher is. I know Disney's funding it, but I don't see the game as more than just a casual fun. If it goes to anything esports, it's not gonna go far.
Just because I know like Marvel Rivals, like they're pretty much they're very similar games in a way. That they're both sort of like NetEase games.
What do you mean?
That's the publisher, NetEase Games.
Oh, okay. What have they worked on before?
That's what I'm checking out. So they've made Life After, Once Human, Identity 5, Bloodstrike, Naraka, Blade Point, Lord of the Rings, Rise of the Fallen. They made the Dead by Daylight mobile.
Wait, Naraka Blade Point is that battle royale melee game, I think, which has been in other places, but not the US. So I wonder what a competitive scene would look like for Marvel Rivals, but I don't think that it would. I think just in terms of like, if you think of like the general esports landscape, that like it would be huge, you know, because even thinking about like sponsorships and stuff like that, like if it's an extension of Disney, are orgs or certain sponsors going to be allowed to or be permitted to do it? Because like I remember a thing in Rocket League, for example, they have a lot of the cars that are like, they have the Batmobile and stuff like that, for example, right? You're not allowed to use the Batmobile in pro matches because Warner Brothers is not, like, they are not being accepted as a sponsor or something for the event or something like that, you know, like, or they don't want to be associated with certain like sponsors that are. So I feel like because it's a Marvel game and because of it's an extension of Disney, I could see it being difficult for orgs to get into the scene, and I think that'll probably hold it back.
Again, I don't think it's going to be more than an esports. It's not going to be an esport. If it goes to the esport, it's not going to live. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, it's not going to live as an esport. Also, I think I've seen a lot of Overwatch, CS2 players all go, and Dota players all go to Deadlock, and they are hooked. They're addicted. They said, because the game actually feels like there's care to it. It's the best way I can say. Like, I haven't been this hyped over a game since like Valorant beta, and I think this is gonna be like a good. Again, I know we give a lot of shit to Valorant, but end of the day, their esports is their esports is big.
That's so unlucky that the last game you were so excited for was Valorant. Considering
you want to know the other game I was excited for?
Good games came out since Valorant.
You want to know the other game I was excited for? Was Borderlands 3. I pre-ordered that shit.
And that game was
the story was ass. No, the story was ass. Everything else about it was good, and I'm a big Borderlands head. And that story was so ass, it pissed me off.
So when do you think Deadlock's coming out officially?
Oh, for not another like couple months, to be honest with you. It's still alpha. They're still popping out updates, but the thing is, they don't even have a private game. There was a tournament recently that happened, but they just got access because they knew someone in Valve and they got access to it. They had like a $1,500 tournament, and people said they liked it. They were like really fun. They had like a band system and everything. But again, they don't even have a private match. You can't even do private matches yet. You can do private match with bots, but you can't do like a private match with people.
Against people.
Can't even do that. They came out with 21 agents, which I'm surprised they came out with such a wide variety of agents so far. But when it comes to like a full game release with esports and everything, not for another few months, to be honest with you. But
that's good. I've seen movement of the game, and it's very interesting, like the sliding and everything aspect. And then people talked about where they feel like at some point they'll have an agent that'll be like wall climbing, possibly.
Yeah.
You can go on the roofs of some of the buildings now. In the recent update, you can go on the roofs of some of the buildings. You can go. There's a rope now for some of the buildings. You can.
Do they have it categorized for agents? Like, are the characters like tank, healer?
No, but people know who are the tanks and who are not now. Like, it took a while, but now like some of them, like there is no official role. There's just 4 lanes, 6 players. You guys figure out which lane to go to. But for the most part, there is no official. Okay, let's go here. There's no jungling. There's no top lane, bottom lane. There's solo lanes, but there's none of that. You can't queue for a role. There's no ranked. So that my thing is that the game is the fundamentals is there. The characters are there, and the skill ceiling is there. Now they just have to worry about everything else.
You know what's crazy? That this game has been out for a week and it's already better than Smite 2.
And you said the only way we can get someone can play the game is if they get invited, right?
Yes.
So you guys heard this. Just go spam Ennis's account and
I did make a TikTok about it. I made a TikTok
to invite you. Just spam them. Send them DMs.
You know
Send
what's so
them all the
crazy?
pics.
I made a TikTok about like reviewing the game, and then it's like if you needed an invite, like put your Steam down, and I got like 20 people putting their Steam code, and I invited all of them as a friend, and not one of them has accept it. I'm like, all right, you guys don't want an invite. Up to you guys.
I gotta send you my Steam. I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
because I'm a Overwatch loyalist, even though I don't play it as much as I used to.
Oh, I Overwatch. I can
Unlucky.
care less. It's a
Unlucky.
dead game. Dead game.
It's not a complete dead game.
It's gonna be like the finals.
Once
dead game.
Deadlock comes out, like officially,
saying.
I think it's Jover for Overwatch.
It had
Oh, no, 100%.
Well,
Joe
I'm just saying, did you see that Power Ranger collab?
No, you know what?
And who else is talking about it besides you?
You know, I knew the game was dead to me when they tried to do a Cowboy Bebop collab, and that shit looked like ass.
Yeah, that shit did look ass.
I was like, nah, this game is dead to me. You fucked up Cowboy Bebop. I'm done. You guys are dead to me.
I mean, they are apparently bringing back 6v6. That could be the saving grace for Overwatch.
Why'd you make an Overwatch 2? Why'd you make an Overwatch 2 if you're not gonna have the PvE and you're bringing back 6v6? What's the point of Overwatch 2?
That is like
Blame
so
Blizzard,
true.
man. Blame Blizzard. They silly gooses over there.
That's your first issue. You're
They're
trusting
not
Blizzard to
silly
make a
gooses.
good game.
They got rocks in their head or something
Yeah,
like that.
silly goose with rocks
Hey,
in their head.
Valve might be Valve might neglect a lot of their games, but at least when they care about it, they actually make good updates and
You know
they make
what's
good
crazy
games.
though? Even when they neglect their games, they're still regarded as some of the best games of all time. If you really think about
They
that.
made 3, if you want to count the Half-Life, sure. But if they made Dota, CS, and so far Deadlock, and they've hit it out of the park with all 3 of them. I don't get it. Why don't people just follow suit and get good developers? That's all I'm saying.
Let me get some of that Valve check, Ennis. Let me get some of that.
I'm not giving you a ban. Bro, I'm not giving you a fucking ban.
Let me get some of that Valve
Let me
check.
get
they
him
sent you.
banned.
Let me get him banned, man. Let me get him banned. Let me just hold a ban.
I mean, but so there's excitement for Deadlock. Should be coming out in the next couple months. If you
Very
want
excited.
access, message Ennis. He can hook you up.
Literally,
He's the
DM me on
man.
Twitter. I will give you guys invites. I'm throwing invites left and right if you
You
need
just
an
gotta
invite.
make him some muffins. That's the only
Yeah.
thing.
Just
Just
send
gotta
him
let him
muffins.
hold the ban.
Let me hold
Yeah.
a ban.
Hold up, bad. And then we're towards the end of the video. Make sure. So as of recording, the Frosto Cup is going on. The Frosto Creator Cup. If you want to watch some of the best Valorant creators go at it and see who takes it all, make sure to tune in this weekend. I
Yep.
mean, you might miss Friday unless you're already watching Friday because this video is going to be coming out Saturday.
Yep.
So, but then you'll be ready to be like, oh crap, I didn't know about this. I better tune in now after watching the whole QORcast episode, of course. You gotta watch it all the way through. And that's how you get to this point. And then you go check out the Frosto Cup as well.
All right. Thank you guys. And make sure to check out Core merch at QORgaming.com/shop. Again,
Page
Core
got
Gaming
it
as in
on.
QOR, QORgaming.com/shop. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Love you guys.
Till next
Bye.
time.
Bye.